Hey, teacher besties, welcome back to Childcare Unlocked, where we talk about all things education, from childcare to college. I am your host, Amira Mone, and this is a little different background because I have been sick, but I want to at least make sure that I have been staying on top of my episodes because we're going to reach our 10th episode of the Childcare Unlocked podcast next week. So I did not want to push that episode off back any longer. So I wanted to do our ninth episode when it was supposed to be done, just a little late. But this week we are talking about the importance of teacher besties, right? So, teacher besties can be a lifesaver, okay? A lifesaver because it goes hand in hand with the classroom management and how the kids flow and how the room flows. Because if you and your co teachers are like this, then like, how can things go wrong? How can things go wrong? Even though it definitely goes wrong because in early childhood education, we played no games. Okay, played no games. But teacher besties is such a just a blessing to have because I've been through three different groups so far in my 3 years of being in education. So I entered one when they was already kind of established, which was a little weird at first because I also was entering a group of children that was already used to their, original teachers. But things happen. You always got to just jump in and be like, "Hey, I'm in here now. That's just what it is." But that was that group, and it ended up pretty good at the end of the day. It did end up pretty good. I think everybody was well acquainted, and everybody was cool. I don't necessarily think tight, but I think we was definitely cool to this day for sure. The second group was probably one of the worst groups that I had, but you sometimes you just gotta. I think everybody has dealt with a challenging coworker. So the second group was a little iffy because the first group we had a group chat and we was able to communicate a lot more because we had each other's numbers to communicate instead of waiting until we were face to face with each other. But second group chat, there was no group chat. There was none of that because no, no, no. Because usually admin tries to encourage you to have group chats so you're able to communicate so you don't have to wait till you're face to face because hey, if I need to call out, if I need to that, my group is going to be the one that knows instead of going straight to admin and then it trickles down from there. But yeah, second group did not have a group chat. I said bump that. Me personally, I was like, no, she doesn't need my phone number. I'm not even gonna cap. No, I don't want to hear it. If you know, you know. Okay. Mm-mm. So my third group that I am in now is I still have one of the same people from the second group, and then I have a new person. So we work together great. Okay. When it comes to like navigating the classroom, when it comes to behaviors, when it comes to parents, when it comes to cleaning, when it comes to events and activities and birthdays, all the things, I feel like we definitely flow way, way better than ever before because we kind of started. You feel me? Started together, and they didn't really know anybody. But well, one teacher. It just depends. Okay, so it definitely um depends on if you're coming into a group or you starting with the group. All that timeline definitely depends and depends on the person and their willingness to just be nice. So our third group flows very, very nice. We talk outside of work, about businesses and all these other ideas that we do because we are our own entrepreneurs outside of work. And then we do social media and then we do, all the things. The list goes on. So we definitely try to be motivational to each other and just just like 'cause I think it's different when you know your coworker as a person, not just the lead teacher, not just the assistant, not just the part time, not just whatever, right? You know them as a person. You know that they have, family, they have children, they're married, they're this, they're that. Like, I don't have to know every single detail, but if we know you as a person, I feel like it's more comfortable and more realistic to be like, okay, she needs a moment, she got kids, okay, and then she come here to kids. So it's like that we have more compassion for each other because we know a lot more about each other than if we was just your average coworkers. You don't have to be friends with everybody that you work with at all. At all. You don't have to be friends with everybody that you work with at all because sometimes you're simply just not going to click. And that's fine because it's like we just supposed to come here, do our job, and then go home. So us making friends in the process, that's a blessing. Other than that, it's not necessary. And the show wasn't on my contract. So it's like it's a blessing either way. Um, Also, when just maneuvering throughout your center or your educational institution, it is just so much easier to have somebody that you just click with because when you hear something like a story or some tea, you're like, who you finna go tell? Yeah, yeah, your teacher bestie because it's like, girl, did you hear? Did you see? Or da da da. Because most likely we have peeped it before, but now I just added to it, and now we know for sure. You feel me? So it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. Sometimes education can be like an episode of Baddies, but we need something to get us through the day, okay? Because sometimes that little hour break don't be don't be breaking because sometimes the break got to be you got to run errands, you got to run to the store right quick, you got to run to the bank right quick because by the time you get off, all of that is closed. Okay, all of that is closed. So sometimes your break isn't even used for breaking. Okay, it's not even used for breaking. So just having teacher friends, teacher besties, people that understand and has compassion for each other makes life so much easier. Because if you need that day off, who finna sign your paper? Us. Us. And if I feel some type of way towards you and I feel like you're always taking off, you don't never does never did blah blah, then most likely I'm not gonna sign your paper. But if I have compassion and we talk and we have just like a relationship outside of, I mean, even if you just have a coworker relationship, but as long as we have a relationship and I like you, then I don't mind if you got to call out. I don't mind if you got to take a day off. I don't mind. I don't mind any of that because everybody needs their day off, and especially if you have children, girl. Like, take your day off. I'm not gonna be fussing with you because you gotta take a day off. Like what? Like I don't even understand. Like that don't mm. Because in my center we have to have is usually so like a fully staffed room is 3 people. Okay, so it's your lead teacher, your assistant, and then a part time. So I'm a part time. So usually if somebody's taking a day off, I'm gaining more hours basically. So if I take a day off, they have to they most likely have to like stay like 30 minutes to an hour later. Not too much of a difference. But yeah, so if somebody like a lead or assistant have to take a day off or they call out, then they usually call me in if I'm available. And then yeah, that's usually how that works. But if it's planned, is a paper that I sign and I say I'm taking over your shift. So that's usually how that works. So that's why I said if I like you, then I don't mind taking it. Like, yeah, you can. And then if you have a group chat, then it's even better because if you call off, then it's like yeah, such and such called off already, but you already know. Okay, because sometimes admin can get a little busy and forget to tell you that such and such called off, and then you walk in and be like, where? Yeah, and they be like, oh, it's a whole thing. But if there's a group chat and everybody likes each other in the group chat, then I'm gonna make sure that you know, because my motto is I don't like surprises. Okay, I don't like surprises because in the early childhood education game, surprises are not fun. Surprises are not fun. So that means you either adding more work to my plate or it's gonna be detrimental, as in like I'm about to lose my job, I'm about to like it's about to be something crazy. So I don't like surprises. I don't like surprises. I don't like surprises. So when I know, I'm gonna make sure that my team knows. So I'll put it in the group chat, and then the admin telling them at the 11th hour would be like, I already know. So it's nothing late, nothing like, dang, now I gotta hurry up. It's none of that because you already knew. So communication is way more effective and way more willing when everybody likes each other and has that respect and consideration for each other. Because if you're just a coworker and I'm like, girl, like ain't nobody finna cover your shift because this is your second time doing that this week type thing. And it's like, yeah, that might be that person's second time. But if they have children, their child might be sick. If they have one car, like they might not be able to get to work. Like it's so many other factors because we're adults as well. We're parents as well. We're daughters, we're friends, we're partners, we're all of this as well outside of work. So it's like, yes, that stuff might be inconvenient to you, but if you understand and if you feel like the person puts in a good work into the room, because compared to somebody else, I would rather have you. So it's like if they are an important part of the team, then I do not mind. Okay, I don't mind um uh letting you have your day off. So I have to come in early. That's what that means, right? I don't mind if you got to call off because you sick. I don't really like being sick at work. It sucks. It sucks because it's like now I'm stuffy, I'm congested, I'm coughing with 12 kids in the room. They don't care. They don't care. So it's like, I get it. Sometimes you just need to be at home because I'm sick. I need some tea. I need to, like, and if you're actually resting, the sickness might actually go away instead of working while sick. Then you're never gonna get well. But it's just it's just a whole, I think, layers of it, because yes, teacher besties give you that, like, that extra person and it makes work going to work bearable, but it's just so many other layers to it. Because if something, because like I said, the education game is messy. Okay, so if somebody says something, or if a situation happens, and with like children, and or with the adults, or with the parents, or with the coworkers, if something pop off, right? Then it was a whole bunch of people out there, but another narrative was said, but you'll have a backup, okay? Because your team is always gonna back you up if you have that type of relationship. Because it's like, I know such and such when to do that. I know she's very attentive. I know she be paying attention. I know. So you'll have somebody to attest to your character, okay? Instead of somebody that barely talks to you, but at work for work stuff strictly, it's just in and out. Like it's something strict like that program that y'all don't really talk for real. Then they don't know your character really. They're like, I don't know. Like I don't know where she at. I don't like come on. So it's like some of this stuff really, really works out at the end of the day, because people know you, people know your heart, people know your character. Because sometimes it could be a game of telephone, and you don't know who to believe, right? So if this person has always had that character in their heart, then people can back you up simply, simple. So it's like it's nothing when it comes to that, and it's just all around, just so great to have people to talk to. And y'all at the end of the day are legit friends because we don't find too many good friends in the world, and it's just such a blessing to find some at work because it's like, hey, I'm with you 5 days a week. God dang, a whole bunch of days throughout the year, and 5 to 8 hours a day. So it's like I'm here all the time with you face to face. So it's like we might as well. You feel me? And I would hate to have to relive that second group again. I would hate to have to relive that second group again. Ooh, oh my lord. Because when you have people in your room that you don't necessarily like, it's such a long day for no reason. It's such a long day. It's such a long day. Don't matter if you like them for a valid reason, don't like them for a valid reason or not. R.I.P. R.I.P. Because I was gonna say good luck, Charlie, because it's just good lord. It's just terrible. It's just terrible. Teacher besties are literally the lifeline of the working field in the education game because we need you and we need each other to get through this day because we already have energy drained from us dealing with our parents and our children. At least me and you can get along. So I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Next week we will be back to our regular background, and hopefully I'm not sick and sound congested because I'm pretty certain I sound mad congested. But other than that, I hope you leave a like and leave a comment to join the conversation and subscribe to become a teacher bestie. I'll see y'all next week. Bye.